Hi there, and welcome to the clinic. It is absolutely great to have you here. You know, as a physician specializing in geriatric care, I have these conversations literally every single day with patients who are navigating the changes that come with getting older. And I always start by telling them this exact same thing. Aging is not a disease. It's really not. It's a natural, highly protective process that your body undergoes. But we live in a world where the market is just completely flooded with pills, powders, and all these so-called boosters promising stronger muscles, better sex, and endless energy. So, in today's explainer, we're going to look really closely at why these anti-aging performance supplements are actually kind of dangerous for people over 50. And honestly, more importantly, we're going to map out the proven, evidence-based habits that genuinely work instead.
All right, so here's our checkup plan for today's explainer. First, we'll cover the baseline, then get a second opinion on those supplement claims, look at the diagnosis of the real risks, write out the prescription for safe alternatives, and finally finish up with a discharge plan.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the baseline, the biology of normal aging.
First off, I really want to validate what you might be experiencing right now. It is completely, 100% normal to feel a bit different at 50 or 60 than you did at 25. But, and this is absolutely crucial, the biological shifts happening in your body right now, they're actually built-in safety mechanisms. They're your body's way of pacing itself, preserving longevity and just adapting. They are not deficiencies that you need to somehow fix with a pill. Let's look at the hormonal system first. Starting around age 30 or 40, your testosterone drops by about 1% a year. This naturally decreases libido and slows down how fast you build muscle. Then we have your mitochondria, the little powerhouses of your cells. Their efficiency in producing cellular energy drops by about 8% every decade. So yeah, that means a little less overall energy and maybe feeling a bit more fatigued. Neurologically, your dopamine turnover slows down by roughly 5% per decade, which can kind of translate to lower motivation or slightly slower reflexes. And vascularly, your body produces less nitric oxide, which leads to poorer blood flow and stiffer arteries. I walk my patients through this to show exactly how these normal drops affect your daily energy, mood, and circulation. Remember, this is your body operating exactly as it should be for this stage of life.
But we also have to be totally honest about the stakes of these natural changes. By the time we hit 60, our maximal physical strength drops by a staggering 30%. 30%! This is due to a natural loss of lean muscle mass, a condition we call sarcopenia, which happens at a rate of about 0.5% to 1% every year. This 30% drop is the jarring reality that establishes the baseline stakes for our physical health. It's exactly why people start feeling vulnerable and go looking for those quick fixes.
Moving on to Section 2, the second opinion. Let's talk about what these supplements actually claim to do.
So let's shift gears and examine the incredibly bold promises the supplement industry is making and see how they try to solve these natural bodily adjustments we just talked about. If you walk into any health store, you'll see shelves totally packed with these ingredients. They market testosterone boosters using stuff like tribulus or D-aspartic acid, promising more muscle and stronger vitality. They push nitric oxide enhancers like L-arginine for better stamina. You'll see massive tubs of creatine and BCA blends meant for quick recovery, just like the bodybuilders use. And then there are the stimulant energy blends, loaded with more than 200 milligrams of caffeine, sometimes way more, promising this huge, immediate boost. And of course, herbal aphrodisiacs like maca and ginseng. Manufacturers package all this stuff with incredibly aggressive claims, but the actual science backing them up is remarkably thin. And what's way worse, for adults over 50 whose bodies are already adjusting naturally, introducing these high-powered ingredients is literally like redlining an engine that's just trying to cruise.
Which brings us to Section 3, the diagnosis, the proven risks for adults over 50. We really need to look at the hard clinical data on what actually happens when bodies that are beautifully adjusting to age are suddenly hit with these powerful, completely unregulated ingredients. And the crucial takeaway here comes down to one staggering number: 50%. A massive 2022 study published in JAMA Cardiology looked at 12,000 adults over the age of 50. And guess what? They found that taking high-dose stimulant supplements, the kind sold for energy and pre-workout, can actually increase the incidence of cardiovascular events by up to 50%. We are talking about severe, life-altering events here, like sudden hypertension, dangerous arrhythmias, and myocardial infarctions, heart attacks. The very pills someone takes to get a quick morning boost can literally double their odds of a catastrophic heart event. No way around it. That is terrifying.
And the heart isn't the only organ at risk here. Taking synthetic testosterone boosters can actually suppress your body's own natural testosterone production and increase estrogen, which leads directly to an enlarged prostate.
Looking at your kidneys, chronic use of heavy creatine and high-protein blends puts massive strain on aging kidneys, which shows up as elevated serum creatinine on your lab tests. We also see liver toxicity, marked by elevated liver enzymes, particularly from those pro-hormone blends. But perhaps the most common, and definitely dangerous, risk I see in the clinic is drug interactions. For example, if a patient is taking prescribed nitrates for their heart and then they take a nitric oxide enhancer for stamina, it can cause this synergetic, life-threatening drop in blood pressure. Or mixing a supposedly natural herb like ginseng with prescribed blood thinners, that dramatically increases the risk of severe bleeding.
Okay, let's turn things around in Section 4, the prescription. We're going to look at evidence-based alternatives.
I know looking at all those risks can be super anxiety-inducing, but we're going to relieve that anxiety right now by stepping completely away from the supplement aisle. Instead, I'm going to write you a prescription for highly specific, evidence-based lifestyle habits that actually work with your biology, not against it. What's truly remarkable here is the sheer power of natural interventions. If your goal is to maintain muscle and fight off that sarcopenia we talked about earlier, the absolute gold standard is progressive resistance training. Clinical evidence from the American College of Sports Medicine in 2022 shows that just 45 minutes of resistance training 2 to 3 times a week builds 30% more lean mass in older adults. 30%. I mean, that vastly outperforms any expensive supplement powder on the market. And for cardiovascular and erectile health, simply combining a brisk walk or light jog for 150 minutes a week with a Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil, nuts, and legumes, increases your endothelial function by 12%. You are literally improving your blood flow naturally through movement and good fats.
Let's round out this prescription, shall we? To boost your libido, mood, and daily energy safely, you really need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep, paired with mindfulness practices. Studies actually show that getting enough sleep restores dopamine sensitivity in the brain naturally. You also need proper hydration, at least 2 liters a day. Now, if we are going to look at supplements at all, we only stick to targeted, clinically proven nutrients, like 1 gram of omega-3 to actively slow down muscle loss, and making sure we maintain vitamin D levels above 30 nanograms per milliliter. Finally, weight-bearing activities are essential for joint support. A modest, consistent lifestyle program like this delivers lasting, profound benefits without the hidden organ damage of those unregulated performance pills.
All right, finally, Section 5, the discharge plan. Let's go over some doctor talk and a quick safety checklist.
I want to make sure you're equipped with the exact tools you need before you leave the clinic today. You really need to know how to evaluate supplements at home and how to manage these risks in partnership with your own doctor. So I'm giving you an exact script to use at your next real-life appointment. Here it is. Doctor, I'm considering a testosterone booster. Could we review my labs first? I'd like to know my baseline testosterone, PSA, blood pressure, and liver enzymes. That's it. That is the exact script to use. It ensures you know your absolute clinical baseline before you ever consider introducing a new biological variable into your system. Remember, we do not guess with our health, we test.
And here's a super simple at-home safety checklist for you. Step 1, review your baseline labs with a physician first, exactly like we just practiced. Step 2, read the label and check for hidden high-dose stimulants or potential interactions with your current medications. Step 3, if the answer to any safety question is no, like if you haven't done your labs or if you aren't sure how it interacts with your blood pressure meds, you absolutely must put the pill down. And by the way, this checklist is an amazing tool for adult children to use to support their aging parents. Seriously, sit down at the kitchen table together, grab the supplement bottles from the cabinet, walk through these 3 steps, and manage those medication risks as a family team.
So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. Aging gracefully really means respecting your body's natural limits and honoring the incredible mechanisms it already has in place. It means feeding it the right fuel, exercise, balanced nutrition, quality sleep, and regular medical checkups. So I ask you, are you going to risk your organs and your heart on the empty promises of a quick fix pill? Or will you choose the proven, daily, evidence-based habits that build real health for a lifetime? The choice is entirely yours, but as your doctor today, I know which prescription I hope you fill. Thank you so much for joining me, and please stay healthy out there.